Hey, good morning, everybody. Lawrence Michael, Operations Manager for Air Quality Remediation, making another video. If anybody watches our YouTube channel, they know pretty much this is the start of another mold remediation project. Pretty much all my videos start this way. I don't want these videos to become repetitive or boring for the people that watch it, so if anybody out there has any ideas on how I can maybe give more information or be less, less dull in the way I explain things. Obviously, we're at 40 some, almost 50 YouTube videos now. Usually they're just me talking about how we go about our mold remediation project, a look at what we have going on, and then a walkthrough at the end showing the finished product. So I'd like, people's input on how to make a more entertaining video as well as being educational. So if anybody has any ideas out there, definitely put them in the comments, let me know. So as always, we start with any mold remediation project is to build a containment. So here is a apartment complex. In the apartment complex basement is where all the tenants store their personal belongings. In one of the storage areas, there was some mold growth on the concrete foundation walls. So this is an exterior foundation wall. And inside this storage unit is where we're going to be working. So as always, we build our containment, establish negative air pressure. Our containment always consists of caution tape and a warning sign to let everybody know, hey, this is a decontamination area. It's for authorized personnel only. And then obviously caution if you're going to go in. The warning signage also says, what type of PPE you have to wear going into the containment area. So we'll do a quick run through of what we have going on. So inside the containment, we have our air scrubber set up. As always, HEPA, high efficiency particle air, that gets 99.97% of the spores out of the air down to 0.3 microns. But it's not only spores, it gets particles that are down to that 0.3 microns. So this isn't an asbestos or lead or silica dust job, but that's any particles. That's not just mold spores. So an air scrubber, a HEPA air scrubber, or a HEPA negative air machine or collector, a lot of people call it different things, but the object is that it removes 99.97% of those particles down to 0.3 microns. A mold spore being about 1 micron is all collected inside that HEPA filter. These negative air machines have multiple filters in them, getting smaller and smaller particles as they go through the machine, and then finally discharging clean air. And that can be tested with a particle counter. If people are interested, I can make a video on how we test our equipment, how we test our HEPA machines, whether it's a negative air machine or a HEPA vacuum or a HEPA collector for duct cleaning, how we test the efficiency of those machines with particle counters. So if people are interested in how we go about testing the equipment, put it in the comment, let me know, and I'll do a video on how we go about our testing protocol and procedure for verifying that the equipment is still good, the filters are still functioning the way that they're supposed to, and if they're not, how we go about changing the filters inside each one of these HEPA machines. So as we go through, we can see on this concrete foundation exterior wall the mold growth that's on this wall. And as we scan up, we can see that there's an air conditioning unit that is right on the outside of this wall. So all these PVC piping and water lines that go to the air conditioning unit just outside was allowing water to come back in. So since I did my initial assessment showing that the water was coming in and that there was mold growth on the wall, the apartment complex maintenance team had somebody come in and seal the hole. So they put expanding spray foam in there. I believe there was also a condensation issue from the air conditioning unit that was outside, so they fixed that as well. So at this point, the initial water incursion has been fixed and remedied, so now it's just the mold remediation that needs to occur. And you can see there, the evidence of the water incursion that was coming in, running all the way down the wall, and then pooling on the ground. So there was a substantial amount of water coming in here. Normally, I don't see mold growth this extensive on just concrete. Normally when I come across mold that's on foundation walls, it's because at some point the foundation walls were painted with some type of paint, and then the mold growth or the mold eats that paint that's on the wall, and that's why it's normally that extensive. But these walls that are unpainted, normally you don't see this extensive mold growth on just the foundation block walls itself without being painted. So that tells me that the water that was coming in from this area was pretty extensive and has been for a long time. They may have been unable to fix the issue or do the mold remediation because a tenant, may have had their personal belongings in here, and at this point, the tenant may have moved out or, just switch storage areas or whatever the case was to allow us the ability to come in and do the mold remediation without the tenant's personal belongings in this storage area. So that may be why it's been so long. I'm not sure. I can only speculate. But at this point, now that we have our containment built, our negative air pressure established, we'll go through and use a wire grinding wheel and a drill to grind off all this mold growth and this white effervescence. Again, anybody who's seen my previous videos knows the protocol and procedure for dealing with mold growth and effervescence on concrete foundation walls. But for those of you that are just joining and you're not sure, we take a wire grinding wheel and a drill, and we grind off all the mold growth and the effervescence. Then all these block wall surfaces get HEPA vacuumed with our HEPA vacuum. Then it all gets wiped down with an antimicrobial solution. We're going to use Sporecidin. We have a ton of different antimicrobial solutions. There's a plethora of different kinds of solutions out there. Sporecidin, Shockwave, Concrobium, Benefact Decon 30. There's a number of other ones that are escaping me right now, but there's a ton. But I believe, in my opinion, Sporecidin is the best one. If it's a concern for VOCs, so volatile organic compounds or smells or odors, Benefact Decon 30 is a plant-based option. It is better for people that are odor sensitive. It has less of a smell than Sporecidin does, but being a plant-based solution, I think Sporecidin does a better job. And odor is so subjective. I mean, it really depends on what you like as a smell. But either way, we'll wipe everything down with Sporecidin, and then we'll go ahead and encapsulate all these block walls with an antimicrobial sealer, and that'll prevent new mold growth from occurring in the future. So once we do our after video of this property, you'll see that all these block walls have been encapsulated with a white sealer. That's what that is the antimicrobial sealer. So since the water incursion issue has been fixed, and then we'll go through and do our remediation and encapsulate all the surfaces with the antimicrobial sealer, that'll prevent any future mold growth from occurring. So once that's all done, we'll decontaminate this whole area. So we'll HEPA vacuum and wipe down all our poly barrier, wipe down all the floor joists and the decking that are in here, decontaminate our equipment, mop the floor, and we'll work our way outside. So that, in a nutshell, is what we have going on. It's a small job. It's only today and tomorrow. But I will make an update video tomorrow at the end of the day so everybody can see what's going on. As always, if anybody has any questions, any indoor air quality concerns, definitely give us a call. We're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Look us up on any of our social media platforms. Check us out on our website. And I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.